Well, hello, Doña County. Welcome to the first episode of our new podcast, speaking to you, the community, to let you know what's going on in Doña County. We are excited to have an esteemed guest for our first episode. So please help me welcome Mrs. Emma Johnson-Ortiz.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation to be meeting with you this afternoon. The federal government did send Doña County as a responsible fiscal agent some money to help the renters that are behind on their utility payments, and we are currently taking applications.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you for that overview. Now I'm just going to call you Miss Emma. Is that okay?
That's fine.
All right. So Miss Emma, what I'd like to do with this show is I know we've done quite a bit of advertising, and I think there may be some questions that people have that maybe I can ask you some questions. I'll come from the perspective of a person who may think that I'm eligible, or maybe I don't know if I'm eligible. So I'll ask you some questions related to that. And also maybe it'll give us an opportunity to dispel some myths that people may have about applying for this pool of money. Is that okay with you?
That's fine.
All right. So let's see. I'm a person. First of all, who is eligible for this application process?
It must be COVID related.
Okay, so when you say that, does this mean I'm struggling, COVID is happening right now, so things are difficult, or what does COVID related mean?
Did you lose your job? Did they cut your hours? What exactly, every family is unique, and we have to speak to you in order to kind of talk to you and see if you do qualify for the program. You do have to be 80% of medium income for Doña County.
Okay, so let's get a little bit more specific about what qualifies you as impacted by COVID. So if I'm a person and life is just happening and I lost my job in December of 2019, do I qualify?
Well, officially, COVID-19 didn't start till March 13th of 2020. But do you have a letter from your employer, from your landlord saying this and this happened to so-and-so? We will look at it. Do not hesitate to apply. Maybe you do qualify. At this point, I can't tell you if you qualify or not without looking at the paperwork and talking to you a little bit more and seeing if you do qualify.
Okay, that's good information.
But March 13, 2020, we know officially that restaurants closed. So people had to come in their car and get their meals, and a lot of people were affected. They had to be let go. There were no more servers at the restaurants. I've been contacted by Uber drivers, by people in the farms and ranches, that they also got cut, people that were doing landscaping. There's just a variety of jobs or reasons, that you might have been affected by COVID-19.
Okay, that's great information. So basically, you would encourage people to not assume if they were impacted, if they're behind, it doesn't hurt to call to see if you're eligible, right?
Yes, call and check with us.
Okay, very good. And you also mentioned the certain amount of income. Where would I find the levels for if I'm a family of 1, 2, 3? Is there somewhere I can go so I can see where my family might fall?
We have the website, Doña County, and then it's called Neighborly Software. That's where you apply for the assistance, and right away it'll tell you, as soon as you open up you have to register first. You have to enter your email twice, enter your first name, your last name, and then your password twice, and you will be registered. And automatically, after you register, it'll say, the email says you have to go to your email and verify it. And it says, click here. And as soon as it says, click here, the page will open up and it'll tell you right away what you need to qualify for.
Okay.
The income levels will appear the first thing and it will ask you, were you impacted by COVID-19?
Okay. Now, I know after looking at the statistics for the state and for just the callers we've received, for the applicants we've been able to help, I see that Doña County has already assisted in the amounts of over $2 million.
That's correct.
And I know that the county manager, Mr. Macias, is interested in doubling and tripling that number. And so we want to make sure that people have the easiest time finding the information. So again, if you didn't catch that, go to the website, DoñaAnaCounty.org, and then you'll follow the link for emergency assistance there. But I also want to point out one thing that I noticed on the statistics. We've been receiving quite a few calls from homeowners. And so let's talk about who is eligible. We do want to emphasize that it is rental payments, right?
It's rental, or if you're buying a home, rent to own. It's not yours, the deed is not in your name.
Okay.
Rent to own does qualify. And of course, if you have a mobile home, a rental, and you're paying the rent on that land, on that lot, we do qualify, you can qualify.
Oh, that's good to know.
Yes.
And I would like to add that I saw a link. We will attach this and make sure that we highlight this as well. I know it was featured on our social media pages. But the state of New Mexico did receive funding for homeowners as well. That's not being facilitated by Doña County. That is through the state. So I want you all to know that there are resources out there for homeowners as well, but this particular program is specifically for rent and utilities assistance.
Correct.
Now, when we talk about utilities, what kind of things will we pay for?
Gas, water, sewage, of course, the electric bill, propane. If you can go to your company and ask them for an estimate and say, this is more or less what it'll cost to fill your propane tank. Say it's $150. Bring us the voucher and we will include it.
Okay.
And we will pay the propane company. And all the money is not paid to the renter, but directly to the utility company.
And you mentioned Sunland Park, so I do want to emphasize, I know that statistically, we have distributed more funds within the city of Las Cruces, right? But we want to emphasize that the entire county of Doña is eligible.
Yes, ma'am. As long as you're in the county of Doña, you qualify, and even the city of Las Cruces. Because before, last time we had funding, it was only for the county, but now it does include the city of Las Cruces, the municipalities, Mesilla, Hatch, and Anthony.
All right, very good. Now, I'm applying. I've gone onto the website and I see that we're eligible. What's the turnaround time for payment? Because I'm already behind. And what if one of the utility companies or my landlord is threatening to put me out? How quickly can the payment be made?
I tell them to give it at least 2 weeks to a month.
Okay.
So, and it does, if you need help and your landlord's giving you a hard time, I will reach out to them for you.
Okay.
And explain to them, we are a government facility. We cannot just write a check from our purse. We have to go through the county system and issue you a check. So please be patient with Doña County and thank them. I thank the landlords for working with Doña County and being patient. Not only will we pay, say you're behind June and July, we will pay you 3 months forward to help that landlord put money in his pocket too. We'll pay May, June, July, August, and September. So
Really?
We are paying 3 months forward. Yesterday, I had a manager call me from one of the parks, and he says, my owner lives in California. He doesn't understand him that you're paying 3 months forward. I said, yes, this program allows us to pay 3 months forward. So once that deadline is over, say we pay them up to October, the following month, if they're still struggling, you're still having problems paying your utilities, reach out to us again and reapply. And all we ask you is to bring in your current income status, or if you're not working, we have a no income form also that you can fill out, and it has to be notarized. And just reach out to us and see if you still qualify, and you can apply again. This program pays for 12 months, in arrears and 3 months forward. For a total
Wow.
of 15 months you can be on this program.
Wow.
15, so through December of 2021.
That is a wow, that's a big deal. Okay, so let me unpack that. So I come in, if I'm already behind, you will pay as far as 12 months back and
April-
3 months forward?
April of 2020, and we will pay up to where it hits 12 months in arrears and 3 months forward.
Wow, that's
So
That's
it's a wonderful program, and if you need it, please come in and apply. Please, we encourage you to apply. And I'm going to just say this, hablo español, yo les ayudo a los mexicanos a aplicar. I know some of them don't have internet. I will help them fill out their application.
That's wonderful. Okay. And I know the county is also having promotores in different community centers assisting with sign up as well.
Yes, we have the outreach people from HHS helping.
But it's also important to note that if there is not a community center in their area, we have a person you can call, and we will make every attempt to meet them in a public location near their home.
Right.
So we're actually bringing this service to the community because we're trying to eliminate any challenges if there's difficulty coming to the government center in Las Cruces or no internet at home. We have a paper option
Right.
as well, so you don't have to go online if you're not able to.
And I think that on the county's website, also you can apply for internet. If you need help with the internet, I'm not too familiar with the application, but it's also, the broadband system is there. If you don't have internet, I think if you qualify, it might even be free. I'm not too sure on that.
Okay, so that's a good tidbit to have. So Miss Emma, we're the government in many people's eyes, and sometimes there's some hesitancy to come forward to apply for programs or participate in programs for different reasons. So let's talk about some of the reasons that might make people a little bit more resistant to even trying to access resources like this. Do you need a Social Security card?
No,
No.
you do not need a Social Security.
Okay, very good.
In fact, practically in the families, there is at least one person that's had one, but you do not need a Social Security, no.
Okay. So I come in, I bring the information that you've already talked about, information proving that I am delinquent and what I need. I bring some form of ID, whatever that is. The lease, it's in my name. Am I the person who has to apply?
Yes, if you're the only one on the lease, of course, you'll be the primary, but if there's somebody else on the lease, we do need the documentation from that person also, or
Okay.
anybody in your household over 18 years old.
Okay.
We need to see why that person isn't working. Are they in school? Why aren't they working? So, and there is a form for them to sign. Most of the 18 years old kids are not working right now.
Okay.
So we have a no income. And a lot of people, even the farm workers, people, that have been out in the onion fields or in the picking pecans, or they, they need to look at it and see if they do qualify.
Okay, that's good information to know. So if I have a house, it's me, my husband, and I have a son and daughter who are 18, or my cousin or someone is living with us, anyone over 18 has to be able to verify that they're not working. So let's talk about that. My name is on the lease with my
Correct.
husband. Neither of us are working, but my 32-year-old cousin lives with us and they are working. Does that disqualify me? Am I disqualified? Does everyone in the house have to be
You are
unemployed?
not working, and your husband's not working. There's a no income form that you fill out, and the person that is working needs to bring in 2 paycheck stubs to us.
Okay.
If you are unemployment, you qualify, and especially the unemployment saying PUA, pandemic unemployment assistance.
Okay.
Once it says there, of course we know that you are on the pandemic unemployment. So that would be part of your justification for the COVID-19.
Okay,
'Cause
so
it,
them
workman's-
having, so one person in my house having employment doesn't necessarily disqualify me.
No.
Okay,
And even if you don't, I mean, we have had people that have zero income. They might be getting some food stamps, SNAP, 234 a month. They do need to bring in those form of income. SSI people, there was some SSI people that were working to supplement their income. You have to have been supplementing your income. That's a key. Were you cleaning homes? Were you landscaping? What exactly were you doing when the pandemic hit? And you lost that little extra income that you had. And that was paying your utility bills. It was paying your rent.
gotcha.
So,
This is really informative because I think sometimes when you're reading, just you speed reading and you just see, oh, there's money, and sometimes I think people think there has to be a whole lot to
Yes,
it.
people say
It's going to be really complicated and really hard, but Doña County obviously is working diligently to make sure that the community accesses these resources.
Yes.
Is there any question that I am not asking you that maybe I should?
what we're asking for to fill this application, we need your form of ID. We need 2 paycheck stubs if you're working, your unemployment, a snapshot of your unemployment. Just give me a screenshot of it on your phone. You can do that easily. The contract, we do need that lease with your landlord. And then the 4th thing is, how did you get affected by COVID? Can your landlord write a letter for you and say she got behind because so-and-so was working at a restaurant and they let her go April of 2020? And a proof, we just need proof, that extra proof that from your landlord, from your employer, from yourself. If you cannot get, that's a last resort, but we will go to, if you can self-attest to yourself, this is what happened to me and this is why I need the help. It has to be notarized. You're going to swear.
Notarized.
Yes. And
Has to be notarized.
notarized.
Okay, that letter.
Yes.
Okay.
So again, your ID, proof of income, the how you were affected by COVID, and the contract.
Your lease.
We need your lease, the contract.
Okay. Well, so Miss Emma, before I let you go, I remember you were telling me a really heartwarming story about a young man a family you helped. You remember the story about the young man in the hotel?
He was telling me that his water had been turned off, and it brings tears to my eyes. But we did get the utility company to turn. Once he got approved, we called, and the water was turned on the next day.
Now, what was his situation? Where was he?
He had been working for a company in El Paso and got laid off. And he was just behind on his utility bills. The landlords, of course they couldn't evict, so they could stay in their home. But every day he would travel to this rest area or a truck stop. They're lucky that the truck stops were open. He was going over there and bathing himself. Of course, he didn't have any running water at his home. But the utility companies have been fabulous. We call them and say, so-and-so has been approved, and they will work with us. And usually we'll get them. If it has been turned off, we will work with you to get your utilities back on.
Okay.
But I reach out to the landlords all the time. They've been great, patient with Doña County. And I thank them for working with Doña County for, they're not going to get their check tomorrow. They will get it within a month to 4 weeks to 6 weeks,
Okay.
But they have hired more employees, and hopefully we'll get a little bit faster.
Yeah. Well, Miss Emma, I want to personally thank you for your commitment. I know that you are a retired yet dedicated citizen of Doña County, and you heard about this program and decided that you wanted to be a part of helping people. So thank you so much for all you do, even if you don't hear it as often because you're busy. But we do appreciate that because we need all of us chipping in so that we can help us be the best county we could possibly be.
Thank you.
Is there anything before we leave that you would like to share in Spanish and English, whatever you want?
I want to encourage everybody to apply, even if you think you might not qualify. Try and fill out the application and see if you qualify. Y por favor, no tengan, yo les ayudo lo que pueda para a ver si pueden aplicar por la aplicación y a ver si pueden cualificar por la asistencia de sus utilidades y su renta. Por favor, hagan la lucha de aplicar a ver si pueden cualificar.
Well, thank you very much. And so as we wrap up this first episode of Hello, Doña County, I would just like to remind you all that the county is here for you. This episode, this podcast, our goal is to connect with the community, let you know the many things the county is doing on your behalf, but also to tell you about the programs such as the Emergency Rental Assistance Program, so that we can all take advantage of that. Please understand that if we are asking you for certain documents, it's not because we're looking to make your life just difficult. There are requirements for us because these are grant funds. So we have to report certain things. And so please bear with us as we try to stay as honorable as possible in this process. But just know that our goal is to help you. If you think you might be eligible, if you know someone who is, call us. Make sure instead of guessing about it. And so we've shared some great information here. We will continue to remind everyone. Is there a deadline?
This money is funded through September 30th of 2021. Give the phone number.
Okay, go ahead. Give the phone number.
575-525-5898. That's the Emergency Assistant Rental Program phone number. 575-525-5898.
Thank you all for listening. I am Anita Skipper, your host, and I'm joined by Ms. Emma Johnson-Ortiz. We'll talk to you next time.